outer sides of the forearm. Create that gripping, pushing, dynamic, forceful motion through and into the earth, allowing yourself to grow as you do so. Deepen the breath as you deepen the amount of pressure and force you put into your practice. And breathe. Big inhales. Long exhales. It's not about how many postures we do, how many shapes we put the body in. It's really way more important to notice what your breath is doing. If you lose track of the breath, it's very easy to lose track of the mind and how to control the mind. You control the mind by controlling the breath. Alright, we'll relieve ourselves from this position here. Again, taking weight into the shins to move. So there was all this congestion through the front of the wrists and the inner forearms that we have worked on now. And this congestion is loosened in those spaces, and the movements that we now take are going to actually start to mobilize that congestion and get it into the bloodstream and get it to the kidneys and the liver and then out of the system. Alright, we'll come back into all fours. We're now going to work one hand at a time by taking the hand, pointing the fingers towards you like so, applying pressure down, spreading the fingers out, attempting to place the pinky fingernail and the thumb, side of the thumb, down into the earth as well. Leaning back like we did before, so now that the stretch is in this side of the forearm, and you might be feeling congestion in the inner side of the forearm. Big breaths here. Just staying still. It's a lot to keep the thumb and the pinky on the earth. But I think you can do it. Keep breathing. And then start to sway a little bit left and right. Noticing if there's more intensity. Try not to let the elbow bend too much. Keep pushing down through the floor. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of sensations. This is crazy, I gotta be honest. Ooh. Keep breathing through the craziness. If you're ever feeling like getting out of a pose before I do, you are free to, but a lot of times that feeling of I need to get out of this pose, if it's not a real sharp shooting pain, it's just showing you there's a lot there to work with, and you might want to spend a little extra time there. Alright, we'll come up, let a little movement happen here for this side. Ooh, make a fist for this bottom movement. Yeah, that feels rather relieving for me. Squeeze the fists hard. Notice all the little crunchies in the wrist. I know I have plenty. I'm sure you've got a ton. Alright, we'll switch sides now. Now notice that when you first put your hand down like this, the elbow point is going to want to come forward in a way. See if you can't rotate so that the elbow point points more towards you. You should get some rotational tension around the forearm closer to the elbow than the wrist. And at least I do. So we'll stay still, focusing on outstretching the fingers and seeing if the thumb and the pinky will come down. I just cannot seem to get my thumb to come down on this side. Looks like I got a lot of tension here. Just keep breathing, my friend. I like to think of the breath as this thing that I'm just constantly working on all day long, especially during the practices. The practices, the shapes we make, they create intense sensations that help you guide where your breath could be sent to for maximum benefits. And it also increases the intensity of how rapid your breathing can get through what feels like a stressful moment. And you want to use that as a training methodology. You slow down the breath when it's sped up through these self manipulations, and then when something else in the world manipulates how the breath ends up going in the moment, like a stressful event, you have training already to slow down the breath. Let's let this guy move. Ooh, that was a lot. Fist. Alright, so we're now going to begin with finger manipulation. This should help out a lot with the trumpet work. Begin by spreading out your fingers and sending your arm out. Grab around the index finger, start to pull it back until you feel the inner flesh of the hand beginning to stretch. Breathe. Now attempt to lengthen the fingertips out further from each other. Breathe. Keep trying to send the hand out further, the fingertips out further, and the breath deepens. A little bit longer. Now we'll counteract this movement by bringing the finger towards itself like so, and then smushing the finger with our hand, or maybe just two fingers like so. You see what I'm doing here is I'm really smashing this part of the finger to this part of the finger and noticing what comes up there. Breathe deep. Reach out long, spread out the fingers, smash a little bit harder, breathe a little bit deeper. Alright, let that finger move, and we're going to go through each one. You might have to roll the shoulder, get a little bit of rest in between each finger, but here we go. We're pulling back. Getting that stretch in the fleshy inside part of the hand. Stretching the fingers out far. Reaching through the wrist. Deep breaths. Noticing where you're feeling any anxiety, any tightness in the chest. Try sending the breath there. Little movement. Release the shoulder if you need to. Tell you what, let's try out giving a little support to the forearm. I think this will make any pressure in the shoulder a little bit easier. I know I'm feeling a lot. So we'll now smash the middle finger. Yeah, I think that feels a little bit better than